let's get started on our heart mechanic that we'll be using in our designs. It's wire coated with spray adhesive and wrapped in yarn and finished off with a little more wire. So let's get started. We'll take a piece of 12 gauge Oasis colored wire, about a foot and a half. I like to use flush cut cutters for the simple reason it doesn't leave that sharp of an edge. We'll put it into our drill. This is called a chuck on a drill. And we'll coat the wire with a little spray adhesive. And now we'll wrap our wire with yarn. If you use a slower speed, it works much better. It doesn't the wire doesn't seem to want to warp. As you can see, there's different sizes depending on how much tension that you give, and if you double wrap it, you can get it thicker. So over this, we'll use a 24 gauge wire. Just to add a little extra interest. To add that extra bit of contrast to the wire. A little bit of a shine. Gives it a little extra texture. One of the elements. You can use the bullion wire if you wanted it a little sparkly. This serves really no purpose except to give it some added texture, shine. Okay, we'll take it out of our drill chuck. What we'll be making are swirls, and the heart is comprised of little swirly patterns. To make the swirls, I like to use rounded pliers. They're jewelry making pliers, and it doesn't really mar the surface. Not that we have to be concerned with the yarn, but if you were using the colored wire, there, and you make several of these, more than several, a lot of them, depending on the size of your heart. Or it could be an egg shape. And we have all these little curly pieces. What we're going to make them, let's use a bigger one here. We're going to attach them with the 24 gauge wire by making hairpins, little U-shaped pieces of wire. I use about 1.5 inches of wire and bend it into a little hairpin. I don't know if you can really see that, but it's a wire hairpin. And that's used to attach your spirals to one another. I like to use needle nose pliers for this job. There are several types of pliers. I have some here. The other kind that I'll use, I made a few more hairpins. There's another type. It's a bent, I don't know the specific name of them, but it's much easier if you're trying to do something in here way deep to have the little bent ones. And we keep adding and adjusting at the same time. You want to attach it in several places to make it so you have a firm structure. The mechanic is something that holds something, as flowers, it could just be foliage. And by using the hairpins, the little U-shaped pins, you start creating your shape. Do them tight, and they're really, you want a nice structure. Your mechanic is very important to have it so it holds and it doesn't fall apart. And you would start bending. I did this heart by eye, but you could have a template and work around that. But this was done just by sight and what I thought we needed. Okay, I keep adding pieces on same way. When there's a few, you'll see on the inside there's probably 1/2 inch that really doesn't get twisted and it's sticking up. So use your flush cut pliers, cut them off, and I use a hammer to lightly tap them down so you don't get pricked, because they are sharp. And if there's any, I'm using a synthetic yarn, so you can use a little bit of fire to singe it. You don't really want to get it as dark as I did, but you just want to just lightly singe it. Or if it's that bad, you can cut it. But as you're manipulating these, they will get a little fuzzy, and then you can go around after and just lightly singe them in the on the flame. And that's how the heart is made.